Your Excellency, thank you very much for your time here on Mirror Now. Can I start by asking you what the last 20 days have been for you personally?
I think it was the worst 20 days in my life. The situation, what we are following in Gaza, what we are seeing, that killing of the children, women, destruction of the homes, people, how they displaced from their homes. There is no medicine, there is no water, there is no food, there is no fuel to the hospitals or to the normal people. There is no oxygen to the hospitals. I think it's affect anyone. It has any kind of a humanity. It was very, very bad 20 days.
Since you've just spoken about the fuel, I want to ask you a specific question about that. Fuel is critical in Gaza. We understand that. You require it to run generators for hospitals. You require it to pump water. Israel is saying there is enough fuel in Gaza. The problem is that Hamas is diverting that fuel for war purposes and not for humanitarian/civil needs. How do you respond to that?
This is not true. Whatever Hamas they have, it won't be enough for 2.2 million people for 21 days. Suppose Hamas they have a quantity, they want to use it for their car if there is a war. But we are talking about 2.2 million people in Gaza. We are talking about no electricity for 20 days. Let them leave the electricity for the hospitals, as an example. If they don't want to leave the fuel, let them leave the electricity. So the electricity, they won't use it for their cars or their, what they will use it for. At least the hospitals will use the electricity. We have 35 hospitals. We are, the health situation in Gaza might collapse anytime because of a fuel.
Israel, of course, has been saying all along for the last 20 days that their aim is not to harm the civilians of Gaza. Their aim is not to target the civilians of Gaza. It is to wipe out Hamas, an organization that they call a terrorist organization, for doing what Hamas did on October 7th.
Who believe that? If they have evidence that they have killed member of Hamas or they fight Hamas, let them show us what they have done with Hamas. What we have seen, what they have done to the children of the Palestinian people, to the women of the Palestinian people, to the civilian of the Palestinian people. They ask people this, they want to displace people from North Gaza to South Gaza. Then they bomb them in South Gaza. There is no 1 meter safe in Gaza. It is not true that they are facing, they want to affect Hamas by killing the civilian Palestinian people in Gaza Strip. This is what they are doing. So why all that number of casualties? It's till now more than 7,000 registered killed people, and there is about 1,650 under the debris of the building. There is more than 18,000 of our people has been injured. Now, let's say that 9,000 of them, they don't need hospitals. 60% of them, they don't need hospitals. But there is 7,000 at least need the hospital. We don't have that number of beds in Gaza. Also, from 21st of this month, trucks has start enter Gaza Strip. Till now, only 84 have just get how many trucks enter Gaza. Today, I think 8 trucks enter Gaza. Till now, 84 from last Saturday. The normal situation to Gaza, hundreds of trucks supply Gaza Strip. Now, You can imagine the needs of people in Gaza when 21 days, if you multiply it only by 300, some people told me 500 trucks and it was not enough. Suppose 300 trucks by 21 days. You can imagine in Gaza what is the situation.
So you're saying that while the world has pledged aid, while the European Union has pledged 50 million euros, while France is talking about flying down more humanitarian aid to Gaza, that aid is actually not reaching the people of Gaza.
Nothing of it reaching, only 84, some of them medicine, let me say, and there is term not to send medicine to the hospitals in North Gaza.
But the Israelis have already asked people in North Gaza to vacate North Gaza and move towards the south. So why have people not moved?
Who gave them the right to displace people from that place? Who gave them the right? If they want to fight Hamas, let them come to the ground and fight Hamas. But why they are bombing all those buildings in North Gaza? Otherwise, you will displace from this place, or we will bomb you with your home. Who gave them the right? That right? They ask people to displace, as I have mentioned, from North Gaza, and they bomb them in Khan Yunis and in Rafah in South Gaza. We have seen that reporter from Al Jazeera, Wael Dahdoux. Wael Dahdoux home is not there. He is from Tell al-Hawa, where the Israelis ask people to leave, to evacuate from there. He left. And thanks God that he divided his family. Otherwise, all his family will be killed. His wife, his son, his daughter, and his grandson has been killed. Right? And we have noticed that because he was live in Al Jazeera. And by the way, it's the only TV who is covering what's going on in Gaza. So now the situation in Gaza, the families divided their children to keep part of the family alive. You give me part of your children and I give you part of my children, and it might be 2 or 3 families divided, my children with those families, to keep part of my family still alive. This is the situation for the people. They are not affecting Hamas at all. They are not fighting Hamas. They are killing the Palestinian people in a genocide way. What they are asking people from North Gaza is it's ethnic cleansing, and this is what's happening to the civilian people in Gaza.
You are telling me that the fear of families being completely wiped out is so real that families in Gaza are actually dividing up their families and making sure that they are in 2 separate locations, so that if one location is bombed, at least there is one part of the family that is safe somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you are calling this the ethnic cleansing of Gaza, right? The rationale and the logic that Israel has offered to the world is this. They say North Gaza, especially Gaza city, is very densely populated. This is where you have many civilians who are living. You have many residential buildings, but under these residential buildings are tunnels in which the Hamas carries out its operations. That is where the Hamas is, which is why we have no option but to target these residential buildings, to target the tunnels underneath, which is why the offensive in Gaza city, which is why asking people in Gaza city to leave and go to the south.
This is a new lie of the Israelis official. Why? The Israelis' plan is to evacuate all the people of Gaza to Egypt. And this is not new, by the way.
But the Egyptians don't want to
Sure,
take people
sure.
in.
Why they accepted? Why they accept them? Why they accept 2 million refugees to Gaza, right? And not think in a peaceful plan and keep Gaza in their homeland and keep people, the Palestinian people in West Bank, and find a peaceful solution, the two-state solution, which they are destroying. This plan, since Hosni Mubarak, ex-president of Egypt, was there, Netanyahu discussed that with him. He caught a pen with Sinai Desert. We can move them to this area, small area in Sinai. We, at the beginning, we built 10 cities of tents. Then we build them the homes, and they can be free to go and come back to where they free to move in their movement. Hosni Mubarak said, forget. But Netanyahu insists. I will send you the video from Hosni Mubarak himself, right, when he was a president. He told him, forget. But Netanyahu insists for that. He said, forget. Do you want the war to come back again between me and you? This is what Hosni Mubarak said to Netanyahu. So the plan is not moving people from south or tunnels, or they want to evacuate the Gazan people from all Gaza. And we have heard President Sisi when he said, if you want to move them to Nakab, to Najaf, right? Then when you end Hamas in Gaza, you bring them back to Gaza Strip. But this is not the Israelis' plan. The Israelis' plan, when I have heard from the kingdom, the king of second of Jordan, King Abdullah Thani, the second of Jordan, he said, refugee to West Bank or to Egypt is a red line. That means there is a plan to evacuate people from West Bank and to from Gaza Strip outside of the historical land of Palestine, and they are not thinking of peace. This is, we can say, why all that bombing of in West Gaza. And there is another video which from Netanyahu sitting with some people, we will make their, not new, not in this war, before, make their life a hell till they leave.
Okay, so you're saying to evacuate Gaza and West Bank always has been the plan of the Israelis and Netanyahu. That is what you're telling our viewers.
Yes.
Then, Your Excellency, I want to ask you whether or not what happened on October 7th was a provocation or not. You have the Hamas enter into Israeli territory, kill babies, kill children, kill elderly people, take people hostage, people who are in wheelchairs being taken hostages. Was this provocation or not? And is there any way that anyone can justify what the Hamas did on 7th of October?
Let me say, at least from our side, we condemn the attacking any civilian people, right? Well, the Israelis refuse to condemn the killing of the civilian people, by the way. And you can ask any official of them, their ambassador, if he condemned the killing of the civilian people. But you have to know what's going on also with the Palestinian people from the beginning, since this government has been formed. This government led by Netanyahu with the membership of Ben Gvir and Smotrich. Those leaders of the settlers, the Israelis have killed 260 people from the beginning of this year when the government have been formed till 7th of October. They are confiscating the highest number of land and building the highest number of settlement units. They attacking people, homes after midnight, jailing people, killing people, and also the provocation in Al-Aqsa Mosque, and the plan to divide Al-Aqsa between the Jewish and the Muslim people in time and place. So there is lots of provocation from the beginning of this year, and none of the world are moving. Now, when Hamas make reaction of that, it has been condemned from not the Israelis, but from many of Israel's friend or who has created Israel from the beginning, like Britain or the United States, France or Germany, or also this extreme government in Italy.
Can I ask you this? Joe Biden now on record has not once but twice said that the Hamas attack he feels is directly linked to the India, Middle East, Europe corridor. It was signed right here in the national capital of India, New Delhi, when the G20 summit took place. Now Joe Biden says Hamas's plan was actually to derail that plan. Is that something that you buy?
I don't think they are in that strategy. I don't think so.
You don't think they have enough brains to strategize? I'm talking about the Hamas.
For that strategy, but there is also, let me say, information about Ben Gurion Channel, which goes from Eilat to the Mediterranean Sea instead of Suez Channel, right? And that channel, it comes from north of Gaza Strip in their plan. And because of that, they want to evacuate the Palestinian people from Gaza. They want that area to be safe, and also it seems it will cost them a lot if it goes to the north of Gaza Strip. This is part of why they want to empty or evacuate our people from Gaza Strip.
Can I ask you if, for you sitting here in India, there is any hope of a ceasefire? The United Nations is divided over the ceasefire, we know that. The European Union has stopped short of calling for a ceasefire. They are talking about a humanitarian pause, but not a ceasefire. Do you see it coming, A? And do you see this war end? Because for a second day now, we have seen raids, Israeli raids inside Gaza, both artillery and airstrikes as well.
I'm not expecting a ceasefire because I could see what's going on at the Security Council and the decision of the European Union, as you have seen, as you said, they are supporting these crimes of the Israelis in Gaza, and they are just talking because they are not doing even a real pressure for the humanitarian aid. They are lying exactly like the Israelis. They free Netanyahu hand in Gaza to make more crimes, more genocide, more ethnic cleansing, and they are talking in democracy, talking in human rights, and they are not practicing anything of that.
You are saying that the West has given Mr. Netanyahu the license to kill people in Gaza. That is what you're saying.
Yes.
You're saying they are talking about human rights, they are talking about humanitarian aid, but in reality, they are completely backing what Netanyahu is doing and giving them the license to kill. I want to ask you how you assess then India's stand vis-a-vis the Israel-Hamas war.
Yeah, India is a friend of both, and I have make appeal for the Prime Minister more than one time. He is a respected man in this world. He has lots of friends in Western country, in the Arab world, and even he has a relation with Israel. To have initiative with all his friends to call for ceasefire and to condemn this genocide of the Palestinian people, because we have seen the spokesman of the MEA before condemn when a Palestinian child killed or shot settlers in East Jerusalem. So hope India will, again, I made that appeal and that call to India to play more positive role with others. I'm sure there is China, there is Russia, there is some of the European countries, and India has lots of friends all around the world. They can discuss that with the United States, which they are allies in more than I2. As an example, they can do something to call for ceasefire. The American, if you leave it, the American are covering with some other European countries the killing of the Palestinian people, as Netanyahu asked, free my hand, don't tie my hand. They are freeing his hand.
Okay, you have called this a genocide of people in Gaza. My last question to you is something I'm going back to something you've said in the interview. You said that the people of Israel have not condemned the killing of civilians.
The official people.
Official people have not condemned the killing of civilians in Gaza. The fact also is that Gaza completely backs the Hamas as well.
No, not all people.
For example, there is a request, there is a demand
Hamas
for...
at the end, its party. It has its follower, sure. Right? In West Bank and in Gaza, it has its follower. But not all the Palestinian people are backing Hamas. There is normal people. They are not backing Fatah or not. They don't have any relation with political or anything. They are just Palestinian citizen living. They want to live in peace. And those are the majority, right? Members of Fatah or members of Hamas is minority when it comes to the whole people.
And therefore, when Israel's ambassador to India says that India should declare Hamas a terrorist organization, do you think India should go ahead and do that?
He said more than that.
He said more than that. I'll stick to this.
Yeah, no, I will say what he said. He said it's ISIS. But ISIS has been created from the beginning by the CIA and the Mossad. It's shame of him to talk about Hamas as ISIS. Because also I could easily compare Gaza Strip as Leningrad and the Nazist army who is bombing and killing the Palestinian people in Gaza Strip. They are the same or worse than the Nazist army in Leningrad.
But you're from West Bank, do you consider the Hamas a terrorist organization for what they have done?
No. Hamas has react of the terrorist is the occupation. The occupation aggression against the Palestinian people for decades, no one talk about it. They are just talking. Even the two-state solution, they are just talking. No one making. We have, at the United Nations, we have more than 800 resolutions between Security Council and General Assembly. Israel has never been implemented for one of them. No one doing that. Because all of them are backing Israel in everything. They want our area to be not developed. They want to sell more weapons from the United States to other countries to defend themselves. They, since they have discovered petrol in the area, they thought to establish Israel in the area, as I don't know, as Mr. Joe Biden himself said when he was vice president of Mr. Obama. He said Israel is the best investment for the United States. It's $3 billion a year. Look how much it will cost us if there is no Israel. If there is no Israel, we will create Israel. So they use it as military base and threaten the area and supporting it with the most modern weapon in the world.
Your Excellency, thank you for your time. I can see that the wounds run deep on both sides. It may be wishful thinking, but I hope that peace returns to your land. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much for receiving me and your channel.
Thank you.
Thanks.